Hi everyone, thank you for dropping in on our Tuesday TNT. It's the 19th of December, 6 sleeps until Christmas. Big thanks to the 3 lovely Singaporean ladies that dropped in yesterday to say hello. I'd just come out of the water swimming. I think I had a pair of bathers on and that's about it. But anyway, we had a chat for about half an hour, so lovely to meet you. Thanks for dropping in and thank you for your gift. We've also got a thank you to somebody else who dropped in yesterday. We'll leave that till later. Now, some follow-ups this morning, and this PM 2.5 air pollution thing is really starting to fill the news almost on a daily basis. This is the latest, and it's reported in Thai PBS World. Campaign launched to reduce PM 2.5 from car exhaust in Bangkok. I think this whole PM 2.5 thing's just going to become the name for what is really a much more complex and diverse general air pollution around Thailand, not just the PM 2.5 microgram particles. It's obviously much more complicated than that. But the Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, the BMA, car and oil companies have joined hands to reduce PM 2.5 dust emissions from vehicle exhausts, which they say accounts for 72% of the air pollution in the atmosphere in the capital. Now, I'm not exactly sure how they come up with that number. Do they get a box of PM 2.5 and they go, oh, that one's from a forest fire, oh, that one's from a bus? I'm not really sure how they get the 72%. But the Energy Minister says the ministry is adopting measures to reduce the air pollution, including improving the quality of car fuel to Euro 5 grade, persuading car owners to get their vehicles serviced regularly, and supporting the transition from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles. And the Bangkok governor said officials have conducted tests on infrequently and frequently serviced diesel engines, replacing fuel filters using the Euro 3 fuel. And the tests show that replacing the fuel, air and oil filters can reduce the air pollution emissions by about 25%. But the Natural Resources and Environment Permanent Secretary says that El Niño is likely to worsen the PM 2.5 situation next year. And he said the ministry is coordinated with 9 car companies to offer free car engine checks, discounts on car maintenance, and engine oil changes until next April. So we are seeing on a daily basis this being reported in a way that's showing that there are some positive things happening. Now, I'm not sure whether these small incremental changes are going to make a big change and what we can expect over the next 4 months, but we are at least seeing some changes. So let's pat the government on the back for at least that. Now, you might wonder, how many cars are there in Thailand? This article gave me a bit of a shock. So the BangkokPost.com reporting Thailand has 44 million registered vehicles, and about half of them are motorcycles, according to the Department of Land Transport. The vehicles registered under the Vehicle Act comprised 22.5 million motorcycles, 11.8 million private cars for up to 7 passengers, 7.1 million private lorries, that's another word for truck, I believe, and then 645,000 tractors and 448,000 private cars with seating for more than 7 passengers. And as of November the 30th, there were 33.4 million licenses on issue for drivers and attendants of various kinds of vehicles. And just a quick look at the iqair.com website showed that the air is a little bit clearer in parts of central Thailand, where last week it was, well, pretty horrendous. To this next story from the Kausod English Facebook page, reporting that the government whip will today ask the cabinet to endorse its draft equal marriage bill so it can be tabled for deliberation by the House of Representatives this week. So the process to change Thailand's marriage laws and introducing some sort of same-sex marriage looks like it is now happening here in Thailand. As we go to Coconuts Bangkok, coconuts.co website, and police arrest 14 more suspects connected to the Klong Toey shooting, and the Metropolitan Police have arrested 14 suspects yesterday connected to a fatal shooting that killed a teacher and a student last month. And the 14 suspects are the second group to be arrested on warrants in this case, taking the total to 23, after police previously arrested 9 people connected to the shooting. And this is the worrying part of that story. Police say they found that the suspects are part of a larger gang of students that operate like a crime syndicate with over 80 members. And the members consisted of former vocational school students who would rent houses together, according to the investigation. And despite all the arrests so far, the actual shooter and his accomplice have yet to be identified. It's been over a month since the fatal shooting on November the 11th, when 2 men on a motorcycle targeted Thanasorn Hongsawat, a first-year student at the Rajamangala University of Technology. And during the shooting, a stray bullet hit and killed a schoolteacher, Sirada Sinprasert, known to students as Krujeb, from the Sacred Heart Convent School. So it looks like there's some long-standing tensions between former students of these vocational colleges, the police digging deep to try and disassemble these gangs. Big thanks to our sponsors, 5 Star Marine at 5starmarinephuket.com. Well, what better than to arrive on the island this time of the year? It's just going to be a perfect 3 or 4 months ahead with this flat, calm seas, bright blue skies, no rain, and that's going to continue hopefully through to around about April. If you do want to head out onto the waters off Phuket, I think they're pretty heavily booked, but if you'd like to contact Sean and the gang, 5starmarinephuket.com. As we head into this rather self-indulgent thank you. Now, a couple of weeks ago, quite cheekily, I put a post on my Facebook page. I said, Mr. Manzoni, I like your ice cream. On another matter, I have a daily YouTube program and can mention products I like. So I was having lunch down at this beautiful resort down at Natai Beach, about 15 minutes south of where I live, and I had this lovely ice cream. So I suppose, really wanted to know more. So yesterday, this gentleman turns up in his beautifully restored Mercedes Coupe, and it's the Flavio Manzoni. So Flavio, thank you very much for turning up. Now, they've got a shop in Kamala if you'd like to check out Manzoni ice creams for yourself. So thank you, Flavio, very much for dropping in some coffee and some sorbet and ice cream. I will certainly enjoy. I think it's meant to be half for Steve and half for me. But I might give Steve 1 or 2, but that's about it. Anyway, Flavio, thank you very much and lovely to meet you. Moving on to our next story now. And NationThailand.com says, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia eye seamless tourism, according to the Thai Prime Minister. Now, this is a bit of an outside-the-box approach of tourism here in Southeast Asia. And I thought it might really develop into quite an interesting story. Well, it didn't, but let's get the bones anyway. The Prime Minister Seta Thavisin unveiled plans to enhance seamless tourism between Thailand, Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia after meeting the 3 leaders on Sunday. The meeting was held on the sidelines of the summit in Tokyo, commemorating Japan's 50 years of cooperation with ASEAN countries. And in the discussion, President Vo from Vietnam suggested that Thailand, Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia take steps to promote seamless tourism so tourists can hop between countries without having to take separate visas. So I don't know, it could be called the TVLC visa, and you could apply for that. Or maybe when you arrive in one of those countries, you can get an automatic stamp so you can go in and out of those 4 countries during your visit. I think that would be a great idea and provide a great impetus for more shared tourism in the region. But that's about all we got from that article as far as that story is concerned, so we'll put that on the back burner and see if anything else happens. But the story went on saying that in discussions with the Cambodian Prime Minister, Seta addressed several issues, including the setting up of a Thai consulate in Siem Reap to accommodate the influx of tourists visiting the renowned Angkor Wat temple complex. So that town's really changed over the past 10 years. It continues to grow with the influx of tourists from around the world to check out the old Khmer temple. But apparently there's no Thai consulate there, so they're talking about establishing one there in the future. And then that article finished with an unrelated topic saying that the Indonesian president also expressed interest in Thailand's 1 trillion baht land bridge project, adding that further discussion will be held soon. So the Thai Prime Minister touting loudly that land bridge project wherever he goes during his visits, selling Thailand to the world. And slightly related to tourism, this incident in Phuket, reported by the PhuketExpress.com, Russian man arrested for wandering around with a sword at famous Thai boxing area in Phuket. And a 23-year-old Russian man was arrested after he was found walking around with a sword at a famous Thai boxing complex in Chalong, Phuket. And police were notified around 4:30 p.m. at Soi Ta-iad, also known locally as Soi Steroid, for good reason. And they arrived at the scene to find the foreign man who was holding a sword and walking along the road. It took a short time for the police to detain and arrest the foreign man. No one was injured and nothing was damaged, which was good, as the area was full of foreign tourists and local residents at the time of the incident. Now that area is really buzzing these days. When I first arrived in Phuket, that's where I actually stayed, but nothing like it is these days, with many Muay Thai gyms and a lot of people coming for these 1 or 2 week sort of holidays, fitness holidays. And it says the Geelong police told the Phuket Express that the suspect has a mental health problem and he was unable to control himself at the time. And they note that Soi Ta-iad has many Thai boxing gyms and there are many foreigners who live and stay there, and it was unclear what visa the suspect was on and if he'd be possibly deported or blacklisted for the incident, although police noted their first step would be to get the man psychiatric assistance. Luckily, no one hurt. Hopefully the gentleman gets the assistance he needs. And we go to this story, and it's reported in thetiger.com. Thai man rides motorcycle 20,000 kilometres from Thailand to France. Well, that's one way to get there. And a Thai man went viral on TikTok for riding a motorcycle 20,000 kilometres for 55 days from the Krabi province in southern Thailand. And another Thai TikToker, Koi, who was travelling in Slovenia, shared a video of a touring motorcycle with a Thai flag and Thai registration plate on her TikTok account yesterday, with a caption that said, "Walking in Europe and spotted a motorcycle with a Thai registration plate. I went to say hi to the rider. I'm so happy when you're in a foreign country and meet Thai people or hear people talking in the Thai language." In the video, the rider can be heard saying that he did not take his motorcycle on a plane or train. He rode from Thailand to the country and counted 18,000 kilometres at the time. He added that he came in a group, but the other riders were resting in a nearby hotel. And the man who's actually the subject of the story, he's got a TikTok account called Biker Chill. And the route he took him through Laos, China, Kazakhstan, Russia, Georgia, Turkey, Greece, Bulgaria, North Macedonia, Albania, Kosovo, Montenegro, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Slovenia, and on to France. And he revealed that it had taken him 55 days to travel from Thailand to France and that he had spent 60,000 baht on fuel. Many said that travelling by air would be cheaper and more convenient, but could not compare with the experience this man and his friends had along the way. The man didn't reveal his next destination, whether he'd like to travel to other countries in Europe or return to Thailand. And with a bit of a tourism focus today, finishing with this story about a new tourist attraction that's opened up, covered in the BangkokPost.com. Steep cave entry fee goes to ensuring visitor safety, Parks Department. Well, this is a visit to the Tham Luang Caves. I'm not really into going underground and not probably inclined to pay for the pleasure. But here's the story. The Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant Conservation has defended what's been criticised as a steep fee charged to visitors entering the deeper chambers of the world-famous Tham Luang Cave complex in Chiang Rai. The fee, 950 baht for Thai citizens and 1,500 baht for foreign visitors accessing chambers 2 and 3 of the cave, has been imposed since the opening last Friday of Chamber 3 inside the cave, located in the Tham Luang Khun Nam Nang Non National Park in Chiang Rai's Mae Sai district. And the opening allows visitors a glimpse of how the famous rescue mission for the 12 members of the wild boar football team and their coach, trapped in the cave for 18 days following a heavy downpour 5 years ago, was carried out. An entry to Chamber 1, which is about 200 metres long, is free of charge. I think I might be able to do that. That will be enough cave for me. And a tour of the deeper chambers must be booked at least 7 days in advance. The reservation is to allow officials time to prepare necessary equipment. Accompanying each tour group will be a park official and 2 local guides. And the fee excludes the cost of renting protective gear to be worn by visitors, who must also take out life insurance and undergo a health check before going into the cave. Each tour takes from 2 to 4 hours, and up to 2 groups are accepted every day. So there's going to be people complaining about the 2-tier pricing for that, but even at 1,500 baht, given the complexity of the actual tour, the fact you've got all those tour guides, the health checks, etc., I think it's probably a fairly reasonable fee. Now, speaking about the Tham Luang Cave rescue, if you do want to see what I think is the best documentary or film, or actually in this case mini-series, I'd highly recommend Thai Cave Rescue, which was on Netflix. I think there was about 10 episodes out of all the various films and productions. I think it was the most organic and authentic. As I mentioned before, if you're going to watch it in the Thai language with English subtitles, because if you turn on the English voices, they didn't quite fit with some of the characters, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've watched it twice, and it covers a lot of details, and there's also a sub-series they did which includes interviews with 4 or 5 of the boys as they reflect on their time inside the cave, and we get a bit of an insight on what they were going through whilst this massive international effort to get them out of the cave was taking place. And with that, I thank you very much for watching today. Hopefully you're a bit more up to date with things happening around Thailand. We've got 6 sleeps before Christmas. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.